Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this tutorial. In this one we're going to be creating a sandman. So this one is going to be cool, it's going to be fun. We're going to be seeing how to use keyed particles and using a wind force field to blow away the sandman after. So let's get right to it, let's have some fun with this one. First thing we need to do is go to your browser of choice, mine is Chrome. And then go ahead and go to blendswap.com. Now BlendSwap, if you're not familiar already, is a Blender website where you can download some awesome Blender files. All you have to do is create an account. So I know a lot of extra work to create an account, but it's worth it. So once you've created an account, go ahead and go to search and search for man. And then go to page 3 down here, and we're going to use the sharp-edged man right here. So go ahead and click on download. Once you've downloaded it, let's go back to Blender. Alright, now hit the A key to select everything, X and delete all of that, and then we're going to go to File, Append, and we are going to go ahead and find our sharp-edged man, go to Object, and hit the A key to select everything, and then click on Append from Library, and this will basically link it into here. Cool, so now we got a sharp-edged man, but let's turn him into a sandman. By the way, if you guys have a request for a tutorial, leave it in the comments down below. Also, make sure to leave a comment either way. Thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe as well if you aren't already subscribed. So, yeah, quick side note. Alright, let's continue with this. Let's go ahead and now make him into a sandman, because right now he's more of a tin man. So, hit Shift A, add a mesh plane, and then we're going to hit the S key to scale this up, way up. There we go. And then we're going to go to the particle system tab over here and add in a new particle. Alright, and then the number is going to be 10,000. I know that seems like a lot, but really, actually, it isn't. The original one I rendered it at 100,000 particles. So, yeah, you might need to bump this way up. Just 10x this thing once you're ready to actually render. All right, then the starting frame will be 1, end frame will be 60, and the lifetime, let's give this a number of 500. Let's 10x that. Cool. Now what we're going to do is go over here and we're going to select keyed. So keyed particles, what they do is basically they allow for you to have particle system that transitions from one object to another. So you can have particle systems that transition from the floor, they become a man, and then they become a dog. I don't know, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with this. So that's what we're going to be using. And if we hit Alt A, you can see that the particle systems are right here on the floor. Now, one thing is that these are halo particle systems, which is not really what we want. We want objects for the sand. So what we're going to do, Shift A, add in a icosphere. And then we're going to turn subdivisions down to 1. The icosphere. This thing is not used very often. I think it's happy because it's usually lonely. All right, going over here back to the particle system, let's go to object, and under the object let's select icosphere, and then we're gonna go on rotation, select rotation, and obviously as the name implies, this is gonna allow for us to increase the phase and then increase the randomness, which will increase the rotation randomness of our sand. Cool, and now our sand is looking a bit big, so let's select this, hit the S key, and scale it down. Cool. Alright, now let's go ahead and select the man. By the way, any feedback is appreciated for the tutorial, you know, if I'm going too fast or going too slow, and so I'm trying to keep it at a good, steady, fast pace for this tutorial. But let me know in the comments down below as well, because I'm doing this for you guys, so I want it to be the best experience possible. Alright, selecting the Sandman now. Let's go ahead and click on New Particle System, and we're going to increase this. We need to make this the same amount as the other one, so 10,000. And then let's go, we're going to put the starting frame at, let's put the starting frame at 1, end frame at 1 as well, and the lifetime at 500. I'm feeling good today, guys, as always. I'm headed to Vegas this week, gonna go see Tony Robbins and Sir Richard Branson. So I don't know if you guys know who those guys are, but yeah, going to a 3-day event. It's gonna be cool. So let's go to the modifiers tab, and let's put the particle system. You can see that right now it's only on half of the body. Let's put the particle system, hit the up arrow, and put it on the above the edge split so that's on the whole body. Cool. I know you guys are probably thinking, dang, Alex, you go off on a tangent so easily. I'm sorry. I just want to mention that. So, anyways. But if you guys don't know who those people are, check them out. YouTube, Tony Robbins, Richard Branson. They will change your life. Alright, going back to particle system tab, we can see that these are emitting strangely. So what we want to do is select on the normal. We want to select 0. And also on the physics, we want to click no. No physics. And now if we hit Alt A, it just stays there. And it just stays there. Cool. Alright, so now what we're going to do is go ahead, and if we go to the ground plane, we're then going to go back to the keyed particle system tab right here under the physics. We're going to go ahead and add in 2 new particle systems right here. And in the first one, we're going to go ahead and click on the object icon here, and we're going to put in plane, which is our floor. And then we're going to click on use timing. And what use timing is going to allow for us to do is basically give our simulation a time, and for us to specify the time and the longevity of it. So for the first one, we're going to leave it at 0 on both. Then on the second one, we're going to click here and click on or select man, which is the low poly man. And for the time, we're going to put this at around, or not around, we're going to put this at 80. And then the duration 100. So basically what this means is it's going to take 80 frames for it to go onto the man, and then it's going to stay for 100 frames. So pretty cool. Now if we go to the beginning, let me put that at 1, and hit Alt A to play, you can see that the particle systems are, or the sand is going up, and it's becoming the man. So pretty cool. Now, you can see that obviously the sand is a little bit big right now. It looks more like a rock man, but we're going to scale it down for the final thing. But you can see that's pretty sweet. So how do we do the rest of it? Well, first thing I want to do is go ahead and let's go ahead and quickly do the sand blowing away. And the way we're going to do that is select the man. Make sure that you select the man, not the pebbles or the sand on him. Select the man. We're going to add in a new particle system. And here also we need to put in the same exact amount, 10,000. However, the starting frame is going to be 180 and the end frame is going to be 230. And then lifetime, let's make this 550. Just a random number right there. All right, cool. On this one, we want to keep the physics, except we want to take off the velocity or the normal right here. And basically what this number does is it ejects or pushes out the geometry with force, so we don't want that. And then what we want to do is go back to the plane, select the plus sign, or click the plus sign to add a new one. We're going to select this as man as well, Except here, we're going to click on System 2, and this is going to put in particle system number 2, or numéro 2 in French. And then on the time, we're going to put this to 200 and the duration at 300. Cool, so let's see what that gives us. If we play it from around here, you can see that the sand is on there, and then it starts to fall off like so. Pretty cool. One thing we need to do as well is go to the modifiers tab on the man, the myth, the legend, and make sure that the particle system is above the edge split. And let's try that again. And there you have it. So now we have the particle system, or the particles then falling off of the man. Now, obviously, we don't want the man to actually render in this. So with the man still selected, hit M and 2 to move it to layer 2. And now if you play the animation, you will see that we still have everything working perfectly, because it's actually the plane that is creating this whole effect. So we don't even need the man. So you can see that happens there, and then it starts to fall away like water. Starts to fall away like that. Pretty cool. So obviously you can leave it like that. You could scale down the sand particle and make more of them, put more in the amount so that there's more of them, obviously, because there's very few. Let's go ahead and remove the eyes and the mouth over here. Or we could just leave it. Kind of looks like the Invisible Man. Hit X and delete. And the tongue as well. That's just creepy. Alright, so now, but let's check out how to do a couple of other things. Going to frame 2, what I want to do is when these fall down, I want them to be blown away by the wind instead of just falling down. So going to going to layer 2, let's go over here and hit Shift A, add in a force field wind. Bring this out, and depending on which direction you want it to blow, just make sure that it's facing this arrow right here. I'm going to hit RY90 on the negative. And then going to the force field system over here, let's increase the strength and bring this up. So now if we go back to frame 1, you can see that if I go over here, they're merging. And then any day now, it gets blown away. Cool. So you could see a little something right there, which is a little off. He kind of goes that way and then goes in the opposite direction. So to fix that, just select the plane, go to the particle system tabs, and now all we have to do is bump this up to bump this down actually. Let's bump it to 190. And then if we go ahead and play this, you will see that it won't go out to the side this way as much like it did before. So there we go. That is the wind blowing. Now, of course, we want it to actually hit the floor. So with the floor selected, all we have to do is actually hit, if we actually need to add a floor on this second layer because that's where the particles are. If we hit Shift A, add a mesh plane. There we go. Scale that up. And then go to the physics, click on collision, and where the particle damping is, just put the factor value all the way up. And now you can see that when these are blown on the floor, they're actually going onto the floor instead of going through it. Although we do have this lonely guy right there that's deciding that he wants to go through the floor. So there we go. And that's pretty much it. Now, A couple of other things that you could do, of course, for my final scene, I added in a texture to this. You could definitely add a texture into the floor by just going to cgtextures.com or textures.com, going to sand, and you could find the sand texture that I used there. It's one of the first ones. And then I added a texture to the floor and to the icosphere. Also for the floor, if you hit tab to go into edit mode, W, subdivide several times, like that many times. Then go to the modifiers tab, add a modifier, and click on displace. Add in a new texture. Go to the texture tab, and we're going to change this from image or movie to clouds. And that's bumpy. So let's bring down the strength to 0.1. So there we go. And as far as the texture for the sand, I mean, you can feel free to add that as well. I'm not necessarily going to do it here. Otherwise, it's going to take too long for the tutorial. Put this to 0.05. And then what we could do is also animate our guy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this back to frame 1. So selecting the man on frame layer 2, I'm going to hit M1, move it back to layer 1. Let's go ahead and quickly animate this. Very, very simple animation. Just grabbing the torso or grabbing the armature, Control Tab, select the torso, and let's make him dance. You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friend behind. Does anyone know that song? I hope you do. If you don't, Google safety dance. Alright, anyways, back to this. Hit GZ. I'm just gonna make it very simple. It might even be a little bit sloppy. Now select that. Maybe select the knee, GZ, bring this up. So he's gonna be on kind of on one knee, and then grabbing the torso. RX, rotate it down. The head, RX, rotate it down, and then maybe the hand. And again, because it's sand particles, the mesh, it doesn't matter exactly too much how it looks because it's going to be sand particles. Of course, you want it to look as good as possible. I mean, right now, for crying out loud, his knee is sticking out of his thigh, which looks very painful. But for the sake of this, it's going to be cool. So what you want to do now is just hit the A key to select everything, and then hit the I key, and we're going to hit location, rotation, scale. Then let's move up a little bit wherever you want him to start standing up. So maybe right here as he starts to form, because this goes all the way to frame 130-ish. So maybe right here. Let's hit the I key, location, rotation, scale, and then let's make him stand up so that when everything is on him, right around here, just hit Alt-R, Alt-G, and then hit I, location, rotation, scale. So now what that does is, dun dun dun, pretty cool. So how awesome is that? So now, with that, let's put the man back to frame or layer 2. Why do I keep saying frame? Select the man, M2, and then move him back there. We don't need that. You could even move the bones there too, but whatever, I'll just leave them here. So now, if we hit Alt-A, you can see that we got this playing, and it's looking pretty cool. So now, all you need to do is go ahead and add in a texture to the icosphere and to the plane. You could check out my tutorial on how to texture if you'd like, or you could just add a very basic texture. And then also here on my other animation, I made him look at his hand before he was blown away. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm not going to go too much into that because, again, it's pretty easy to lift his hand. You know, I don't want this to take forever. But that's pretty much it. And then I just added some basic lighting with 2 mesh lights with planes and some also I was in the cycles renderer, of course. Some what do you call it? some emission material. Man, I couldn't find my word right there. So with that, that is pretty much all for this tutorial. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And then of course, for the final render, what you want to do is go over here and you want to, if you increase the number of particles, you want to increase it on everything. So let's say we put this up to 50,000. You want to go ahead and do that on all 3 of the particle systems. Make sure you put 50,000 and not 500,000. Otherwise, that's going to be ridiculous. So now you can see it's going to take a lot longer to render, but it's going to look a lot better. So I think for my final one, I put 100,000. So you can put as much as you want, as much as your computer can handle. All right, so with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial making a sandman. You could definitely make him like crawl on the floor as he's being constructed and built. And you could even do like a rock man or something, you know, golem thing that's being created. So obviously the sand particles, make them a lot smaller. Right now I'm just leaving it as it is so that we could get a better feel for it, because boom, you can see how cool that looks. Even that looks kind of cool. Looks like a fireman. All right. And then of course you want to scale down this object for your sand. All right. Again, with that, I'm going to stop badgering on forever and let you guys go. So leave a comment down below if you'd like a tutorial on anything. Would be happy to do it. And also leave a comment, thumbs up, subscribe. Also check out the course I just released called the Ultimate Blender Course or Guide. Click the link below. Check it out. It's pretty awesome. All right. Appreciate you guys. Have an awesome one. Have a good rest of the week. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now. Au revoir.